Another habitat improvement project. They did a nice burn in here. Currently I'm on State Game Lands 211, right off of Gold Mine Road. And this is probably one of the best burns I've seen. A lot of them don't really look like they've done anything. Everything in here is lush and green. I was sitting there for a few minutes and a nice buck ran by. Wasn't expecting that, it kind of scared me. That's the second deer I saw this morning. I saw one run across the stream when I was fishing. It's unfortunately it looks like it's going to rain again. So I didn't get to make all the videos I want today. We're going to head back down the mountain and check out some other stuff that was done up here. It's very cool in here, very pretty. Everything is lush and green. The ferns are coming back. This area didn't get clear cut. Some of the dead trees were knocked down before it got burnt. It's definitely coming back in a huge way. I see a lot of deer tracks in here also. They're nibbling on the new growth that's coming back. Some of the other controlled burns I've seen, they did not really have this kind of effect. This must be the perfect location. Perfect soil. This area actually has a lot of food. There's a lot of shell barks on the ground here. Also a lot of acorns on the ground. So this section of 211 is very healthy. We'll come back and spend the day. We'll come back and spend the day here. I know the rain's not going to ruin my videos again. It rained the past 9 Saturdays. So out of the 4 past Saturdays I tried to make videos, I got rained out. Indian Town Gap's doing a lot of shooting back there. And they're doing a lot of automatic fire. They opened up at about 7 o'clock this morning and they have not stopped yet. It's our tax dollars at work. It's a target practice for the military. I gotta watch where I'm going here so I don't fall. It's definitely very beautiful in here. The ferns are beautiful. I love the smell of ferns. Everything smells so good in here. And definitely have an abundance of bird life in here. It's so beautiful in here. Right now these ferns are up to my shins. So if I come back in a month or so, they will probably be up to my knees. Tiptoe over the rocks here. It's very easy to walk in here. It's not a boulder field like Stony Creek or Clark's Creek. Hopefully there's no rattlesnakes hiding in these ferns. I have not seen a snake today. A couple frogs jumping in the stream scared me. And you always get your heart going a little bit when you hear that beep, oh, right in the stream. Got me, the frog master. All right, almost to the bottom here. I'm not sure where all these cart roads go. I'll walk down these in the future. Always new places to check out. New state game lands, new hiking trails. I never give up even when it gets hot. I just keep checking out new spots every year. All right, back out on the trail here. I'll turn the camera on here when we get to the bottom, so I'll be right back. Back down the bottom. So beautiful in here. Birds are singing away. A lot of woods robins in here. It's a shame all that gunfire's in the background. They're singing their heart out. I love to hear a woods robin singing. Here's a look at the side of the hill. It doesn't have a very steep incline, but everything in here is green. This actually is a very good burn. Lots of life in here. We can look at the ground here. You can see some of the burned acorns. Hopefully the camera can pick that up. Not all of them burned. Some of them just got a little toasty, but you can see all the new shoots coming up. And here's the tops that are burned off. Everywhere you look, there's some life. Here's an oak tree regenerating. Good job to the crew that did this controlled burn. This is very impressive. This is probably one of the best ones I've ever seen. Everything here is regenerating already. Maybe they did this last spring, and everything is definitely coming back. It's so beautiful in here. A lot of times after they do a controlled burn, you can smell the kerosene that they use to ignite the fire. I'm not sure if they use kerosene or diesel fuel, which one, but you can always smell that around the edges. But this one actually doesn't smell too bad. All right, we're gonna walk back out to the road here. I have not seen a turkey today, or a grouse, or a bear, but I have seen a few deer, and that's always a positive thing. I don't know how many mature buck there are in this area, or mature doe, but most of the tracks I see are actually very tiny. Even the buck rubs are small. All right, let's walk out to the trail here. There's another food plot at the bottom down here. I'm not going to check that out today because there's a rainstorm on the way. Hopefully I can get out of the woods before it starts raining. And there's some logging equipment here I passed on the way in, and a bunch of native chestnut trees we'll take a look at. I have a few thoughts on the chestnut trees and how they log this. And we'll turn the camera back on further down the road, so stay with us. These are native chestnut trees. They are not Chinese chestnut trees planted by the Game Commission. So far I found 4 of these along the road. And here's a chestnut tree here. Chestnut blight is an orange fungus, and as a tree grows it'll kill the top and it'll keep growing back from the roots. Chestnut trees are very resilient. Did a lot of research on them. When the chestnuts are ripe, the people in Appalachia, they would fill up wagons full of nuts, and they would take them to a train station, and they would go to cities and they would be sold as food. And they fed their livestock chestnuts also. Everything in their house was made out of chestnut. Chestnut trees have a very dense green, and they are very strong and do not split. And some of the older homes back in the day, everything in the house was made from that wood. My camera's doing weird stuff. Here we go. Turn on that facial recognition so it can track me. They're also doing some logging in here I want to check out. And this is actually a good job of logging too. They didn't destroy the forest. We'll take a look at what they did here. And when we get closer down to the road, we will check out the logging equipment. So these will probably be some kind of a food plot. And nothing was removed. Everything was pushed aside and left to rot, which is actually very good for the soil. The nutrients will help fertilize the new trees that come up. Everything else that grows there. There's another pile there. These are very small cuts. This one looks like it was done last year. Closer to the parking lot out here on Gold Mine Road. The equipment's still sitting there. Those cuts are kind of fresh. And they did not take out the big timber. It looks like they left a lot of it there. And we'll take a look at that. Let's go take a look at the logging equipment here closer to the road. There's a small cut there. That'll actually grow back in a few years. They didn't destroy everything. All the bark is still in the ground. Treetops are still there. There's some limbs over here. Fresh cut timber always has an awesome smell. These are fairly small. I don't know much about sawing timbers for lumber, but everything here looks pretty small. There's some dead ones. If you look real close here, you can actually see the bark is peeled off of these. You can see the teeth marks in here. The harvester must have a peeler head on it where it's actually peeling all the bark off of there. You can really see it on that one because that one's dead. Lots of bark on the ground. This will probably be the best fire starter there ever was. Such a cool smell too. It actually smells like a giant air freshener. Definitely a good job on this cut. They didn't flatten the entire mountain. just a small area. Let's check out some of the equipment here. Got a John Deere dozer. You must be cleaning up some of the tops with this. I'd love to drive that. I would actually pay them if they would let me drive that. Or I would just do the work for them for free. Something I always wanted to do. Drive heavy equipment. Let's walk around the other side here. Check out the rest of the equipment. Definitely a good timber harvest up there. Not a lot of destruction. This is probably one of the meanest skidders I ever saw. This one has tires with tracks on top. Usually the skidders are four-wheel drive, but this one has major traction. Cool stuff. Tiger Cat 1075C. You can check out the wheels here. These wheels are enormous. Got extra traction on there. Got some serious steel on there. And these tires are no joke either. Check out the back end here. Here's the claw. It grabs them, picks up one end of the log, and it drags it out so it can be loaded up. Really cool stuff. Anybody know how much horsepower this piece of equipment can produce? You can leave me a comment down in the comment section. That's got to be one of the largest skid loaders I've ever seen. Most of the logging operations I've watched, they all had just the tires on. I've never seen one with tracks. Maybe that's to help it climb up the side of the mountain since it's so steep. It's got to be kind of scary driving up there because you can't see over the front end, and it just keeps climbing up. Let's take a stroll down here closer to the parking lot. The timber harvester is closer to the gate at the parking lot. We can take a look at that also. It's also very cool. A lot of berries growing along the trail here. Almost everything here will have berries on it before the summer's over. When we were at Weiser State Forest last year, there was blueberries and blackberries everywhere. I believe this is a blueberry. You can see all the little blossoms on here. Before the end of summer's over, they should have some tasty berries on here. This is a blackberry. These also are very tasty. I actually like to eat blackberries. The wild berries are delicious, but you just have to get to them before the birds get to them. But there's an abundance of blueberries and blackberries along this road here. Almost the entire length that I walked today. All right, let's go out and check out the parking lot here. Check out the harvester. See what kind of head it is on the end of that boom. And that's also really cool looking. There's the harvester. Very impressive piece of machinery. Tank treads. Everything is armor plated steel. They're very cool to watch run. A lot of power here. There's the head. This head actually has a peeler on it and a cutter. We'll take a little bit closer look at that. They have a lot of power in that head. I've actually watched them cut the tree, pick it up, and then kind of throw it to the side. This head actually has a peeler on it. You can see the teeth on it. You can see the marks in the timber sitting on the truck where it actually peeled the bark off. Here's your peeler right here. And what it'll do is it'll pick it up with the claw, and then this will run down the log, and it'll peel all that bark off and cut it to length all in one shot. There's a saw blade in there somewhere. But definitely very cool. $1 billion machine. Anybody know how much this piece of machinery would cost? Leave me a comment down in the comment section. I've watched two of these machines run and clear a lot of acres in one day. Thanks for watching PA Timber Goose. Thanks for coming along today. As always, hit that like button. It really helps the channel. Hit the subscribe button. Help the channel grow. And thanks for coming along today. We'll see you on our next video. Thanks for watching PA Timber Goose.